Okay, then very, very welcome to a new Rayonex webinar. And I would say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are actually in the world, because this is an international webinar. And it is a great pleasure for me to invite Ms. Bunkenburg as our medical support and Mr. Taylor as our export manager. And we want to come over to, I think the next step, of bioresonance according to Paul Schmidt. We are presenting with this webinar really, I think, the new world, which will come starting in the next weeks. And it is for us really a giant development which is behind this presentation today, because when we remember, we started, or personally I started in '94, and we had devices where you can choose the frequency base value only by hand and not automatically. We have to use the Rayotensor, and with this combination of devices and accessories, we went into the future, and it is really fantastic to see what we have at the moment in 45 different countries in the world. And this morning I had here the audit with the German TÜV regarding our quality management system, and we repeated also the history of Rayonex, and it is really a fantastic, a fantastic story which we can present, and that we are today presenting, really the future of bioresonance according to Paul Schmidt. This is really fantastic, and I will say really directly to you that when I started in '94. I discussed with my father at that time that it is really a dream to have a system, devices which are medical devices with an automatic adjustment of these frequency base values, and of course an automatic diagnose system which are scanning the body, and at the final end, we have the chance to create with this scanning a therapy program, and of course to check after a while how effective it was. Now this dream will come true now, and therefore it is for us really fantastic to do that. And when we are here presenting the RAH scan for the veterinary usage for horses, dogs, and cats, of course, it is clear what it means. It means that we are able to check single RAH programs with our scanning system. And when we are presenting today the scanning system for the vet, I think everybody will directly have in his mind that this will come very, very soon also for the human area. And therefore, again, very welcome to this webinar. And of course, on the next slide, you can see that we are, of course, recording this webinar so that you can repeat it firstly on the Rayonex wiki or under our YouTube channel. That's really easy. When you are choosing on your browser the YouTube, you have to enter Rayonex in the search, and you can choose the playlists and click webinars, and then you will find this webinar in the future also, so that you can repeat it. Of course, it is possible to repeat it also in the Rayonex wiki. You know that this is our cost-free, I would say, video library containing more than 500 educational videos, and therefore it is free of usage. And you will find this webinar there in the next days also. Yeah, okay. This is I would say the warm up from my side, and Mr. Terlo, I think you can go over now to the next slide.
Yeah, thank you very much, Professor Heimes, for this nice introduction and about the historic view on this development, really. So this is really impressive. And I think everybody's happy that one dream come true here now, really, after all this long period of time. Before we go in details and, of course, show you the whole system, we want to clarify a little bit what is required to work with this system, to use this system, what is really absolutely brand new. In the first instance, of course, it must be the Rayocomp PS 1000 Polar 4.0, here as the VET edition. Important, this new software, this new VET scan will only work with the Rayocomp Polar 4.0. It is not possible to use the previous generation because, simply spoken, it's technically not possible. So he has not the ability to run this enormous software which is behind here. That's unfortunately impossible. So it's only possible to use here with the Polar 4.0. Please have this in mind, even for your customers, if they ask for this. This is very important. On the other side, then, of course, you need first the RAH-VET-Module, because we're talking here about the VET RAH scan. So this is also one of the, I would say, tremendous newest development that we now can use the RAH with the scan together. More details later. And of course, the next what you need is the special software for the Rayoscan. You see here the different topics, the item numbers, and so on, where you can order these different modules and software, or you will order the complete software, the Rayoscan Veterinary Scan hard and software in one package. This is required for devices which have not or do not have the Rayoscan hardware already. Because the hardware from the Rayoscan Human and here, which is used on the Rayoscan VET, are the same. So it's the same ECG device. So it's the same technical fundament here, what is used on both. So if people already owning or having the Rayoscan Human, they can just upgrade their device with a software. Only for the hardware upgrade. The other point is then the device must come to Germany because this can only be assembled here, but this is very easy and possible on every Polar 4.0. So absolute no problem. That's always possible. Yeah, the accessories, also very important since, as you can see on the picture, there are some new items now, or especially one new item. These are the 4 Ecg clamps, the electrodes, which you see on the left side. This is very important for the different application of the scan with this cable, via the cable to the Rayocomp device. You can imagine with the Rayoscan pads, depending on the skin, on the fur of the animal, you cannot stick the traditional Rayoscan pads on the animal. So we use the special clamps for the extremity derivation. So we will show you in details later. Very smooth clamps, so they will not hurt the animal. So don't be afraid that they will just run away or scream or something. You can, not really hurt. They will not really realize this. We will see it also later here in the presentation. The Rayoscan pads, again, can also be used, of course. Especially on the veterinarian, but also on the human, we recommend the use of this electrode gel, just to make sure that you have a proper contact from the electrodes, the clamps or the Rayoscan pads to the skin, and that you have a proper signal while you run the Rayoscan. But even more here on the veterinarian area, you should always use the electrode gale. And so therefore, this is also part of the standard package, what comes together with the clamps, cable, and the Rayoscan pads. These 4 items, or the first 4 items here, are also included in the software. When you order the software with us, the item 46073, we will send you these items by UPS quickly, that you can use it immediately when you have released the software on the Polar, that you have the right accessories. What you else need, of course, are the fabric detectors to transfer on one side, the fundamental frequencies, if you use the traditional BAPS scan, or of course the RAH programs to the organism. And as you know, we have different sizes of these fabric detectors suitable for different size of animals, for small dogs, large dogs, also for horses, or for smaller pets. You can also use the metal food detectors, for example. This is also what we will see later here on the example with a cat. You can lay the cat on the detectors, and also then for transferring the information from the Rayocomp to the organism, which is important for the measurement and see the reaction of
Mr. Taylor. Let me add one accessory which is really totally new. This is not on the list because it is really brand new. It is a small holder for the cable electrodes, which is adjustable directly to each polar, so that you have a chance to fix these electrodes also, and so that you have not the situation that these cables will fall down and can be damaged and so on. This will come automatically with the module also.
Okay. The secret development.
Yeah, small but helpful.
Definitely. No, very attractive. Yeah, so this is about the hardware, what is required, to give you a first idea, an overview here about this. But I think it's now time to go the next step and to go a bit more in detail about the Scan VET here. And yeah, I will pass over to Ms. Bunkenburg, Gudrun, who will now give us the first ideas and introduction.
Okay, thank you so much, Holger. Warm welcome also from my side. Please believe me, it's really a great development we have in front of us, and I'm very proud to present it, because a new Rayoscan for the veterinary medicine, in my opinion, it's a new option for many people, but it's also another kind of view inside of the body of the animals. Please believe me, it's very exciting. When you now have the device in front of you, you have new buttons. When you can see that here, that is the main menu, and you can see new structure of the Rayoscan. We have the difference now, Rayoscan human area and Rayoscan veterinary area. We have also client administration, you know that, but now it's very important to work with the client administration. We have in the new RAH scan a follow-up possibility, and you can only use this follow-up possibility if the animals was created in the client administration. Therefore, on the next slide, I want to show you a little bit what we changed. Next slide.
Sorry. Yeah.
Okay, it's cold. It's cold outside. Client administration. Now we have the different veterinary and human. On the left, you can see that for the veterinary, and we have the difference now between the owner of the animals and the animals, because otherwise you have a big problem when you're searching for a cat or a dog and you have only the name of the dog, and you search, for example, for Mizi Meyer in German, very popular. data, then you are confused because you cannot find. No, we decided that you have now the owner of the animal on the top, and you have to insert, and after that you can insert the name of the animal and what kind of animal. For example, is it a dog, a cat, or a horse? The gender you can change, and then you have, for example, the street and all the city, all these things you ever had. Okay, next slide. Horse, dog, or cat, I told it to you. We have different kind of possibilities in the Rayoscan. We have, on the first part, we have bioresonance according to Paul Schmidt scan. And that means that we have 200 frequencies. These frequencies were applied to the animal organism. The next possibility is the RAH scan, the new scan. A checkup is inside, a checkup test, a detail test. You can directly have an harmonizing program, and you have the follow-up, I told you at the start, but we will come later back to it. And in the future, we will also offer you an individual scan. And what is behind this? What is the meaning of individual scan? In the future, we can offer you, for example, that you can check the Bach flowers, the Schüssler salts, you can but also test protocols, especially for animals, but also own compilations. And I think that is the next, or not the next, then this next step takes a little bit of time. But as you can see, we are looking forward to really new possibilities for testing and for treating the animals. Next slide. When you start working with the animals, you have to select animal species, for example, horse, dog, or cat. You have to select the gender, and then you can select bioresonance according to Paul Schmidt or RAH scan. Professor Heimes, what is the difference between the bioresonance according to Paul Schmidt scan and the RAH scan?
Yeah, Ms. Bungburg, of course, we have, and you saw this on the buttons, directly with the buttons, we have two options now at the moment then available. It is, first of all, the BAPS scan. That means it is the individual, or the check of the individual fundamental frequency values. The dipole antenna system fix in a range from 0 to 100 the frequency fundamental values, and each value is checked. And this is our fingerprint, which is really successful, meanwhile, of course. And in this individual check of the fundamental values, we are checking 200 values. It means it is starting with 0, 0, 5, 1, 1, 5, 2, and so on. And this is, I think, an option which is well known from the original human scan, which is available at the moment. But this test is so important that, of course, we want to offer it also in the veterinarian area. That means in the veterinarian area, it is.
Oh,
Ton ist weg.
Hello. Oh, that's the first time Professor Heimes. You can, I hope you can still hear me, or Ms. Bungburg. Gudrun, can you still hear me?
Yes, I can still hear you.
You can still hear me.
Shall I go on?
Yeah. Hello?
Now you're back.
You're back.
Okay, I have here an information that the internet connection is not very stable at the moment. Oh, hopefully it is fine. Yeah? Okay.
Now it's better, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Now the difference, and now the RAH scan means that we are applying an RAH program, and we are checking with the Ecg system exactly that it is that there is a need in the body or not. And this is the biggest difference. I hope, is the connection fine or not?
It's fine.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Okay. That means that we have a giant flexibility now in the RAH scan. We have at the moment more than 1,800 programs. And of course, we can check different combinations of RAH programs and can then check which of these RAH programs are necessary. The typical work of the RAH scan is in two steps. First of all, it is a checkup test with 21 different RAH spectra of physiological areas in the body. And after fixing the physiological area, which with the highest need of harmonization, then we will start automatically a detailed test of 200 related RAH programs. This can be around 200. This is exactly one of the most and the biggest differences of BAPS scan and the RAH scan. And on the next slide, you can see that, for example, here on the dog, you have a chance to press the button BAPS. This is at the moment the German one. It is Bioresonance nach Paul Schmidt, which means Bioresonance according to Paul Schmidt scan. And you have then the fingerprint. And when you press this button, you are checking, and you can see this on the next slide, you are checking these 200 different frequency base values. It is a procedure which is well known from the actual human BAPS scan, and you can work out exactly the most needed resonance values in your body. And you can see here on the screen the red and the blue dots. These are exactly the frequency values of the fingerprint which has a need to be treated. Of course, I said it already, and you can see this on the next slide also, that there's a good chance to connect this BAPS scan with the integrated compact programs, so that you are able to connect the fingerprint with very well and useful combinations of RAH programs, compact programs. This is the possibility under the knob BAPS scan. Yeah, and Mr. Terlo, I think you can explain a little bit what happened when you are pressing the knob RAH scan.
Yeah, we have this option here. Thank you, Professor Imes, to do now the RAH scan. What is, the newest development, the BAPS scan. I think many of you know that from the human area. So the principle, it's already a giant development to make this now possible for the animals. But the really fantastic development comes now with the RAH scan. And on animals, we have, of course, a speciality how to connect the animals to the Rayo scan. So everybody knows from the human scan, the Rayo scan pads which are put on the abdomen. Animals are a little bit more special. So we have two options here. One is the extremity derivation or the thoracic positioning. On the left side on the screen, you see, first of all, the extremity derivation. But what is also very interesting here and important to see the new visualization here, that you have these fantastic pictures, and I can promise you there are much more, even nicer and very impressive pictures in the system later on about the different animals. Here it's in the example of a dog, where you can see the clamps, how they are positioned at the limbs. with a green, yellow, red, and black electrode. And if it's connected like here with the clamps, this is used, or for this will be used the clamps, you can press the button further and start the scan. If you use the thoracic positioning, this is on the right side picture. So you have on one side, on the left side of the animal, you use the RAH Scan pads. You paste them on the skin, on the fur of the animal. Please never forget to use the gel. Additionally here to have a good contact. And then you can go press the button further. Above you see, you can choose. Yeah, this I forget the button thoracic positioning or extremity derivation. Important to know is also that the extremity derivation works on dogs and cats, but on horses, only the thoracic positioning. This is not possible in a different way. But if you choose a horse, the system already gives you only this opportunity. So again, you cannot do anything wrong. So it's quite simple in the application. From there, we continue in a very well-known way. So at first, the system is checking the signal strength, see if all 4 leads are connected proper. Again, use the electrode gel to have a good signal. And only when all bars are over the black line again, like on the human scan, you can press the button further and continue. And yeah, finally start. Then, no, first goes to the leads. He's checking again the leads, sorry. Here we have also 3 leads, which will be chosen from the system automatically. This is also new, that you don't have a manual selection anymore. So really the system is looking what is the most or the best lead to run the measurement in the RAH. So this avoids only also some, by mistake, you choosing the wrong lead and then you don't have a correct signal and maybe a bad result later on. So here really the system checks automatically and provides you 1 lead, and only then you can go further and come to the check on the RAH. And this looks like this. And I think, Gudrun, this is a part where you can say a bit more about.
Please believe me, it's very easy. Let me summarize. You go to client administration, you decide, for example, you want to check a dog, then a male, for example, dog, and then you can go on. And every time now we saw all these slides, and you can say continue, 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 because it's automatically. And that is for me very important, because really it's easy to use. We're talking and showing, and I don't want that you have the idea, oh, it's so complicated. No, it's very easy. Now we come to the RAH scan, to the checkup test. The checkup test is the first test, and 21 physiologies are applied to the animal organism. And this test, it's approximately 1.5 or 2 minutes. It depends a little bit on the pulse. And you can see that on the left, we have a visualization, and the visualization changes with every physiology. It looks very nice. And I think it's very interesting for the pet owner, that they have a little bit an idea what happens inside of the dog. At the next slide, you can see.
Oh, this is one.
Yeah.
No.
You have a list now.
No.
Okay, now get back. Yeah, that's no. Now we are confused. Next slide. Once again, Holger.
Yeah,
that's it. Please stop it. The checkup test and an overview about the visualizations. We have all the main programs from the RAH-VET. I think you remember cells and tissue, blood, immune system, lymphatic system. All this on step by step is coming, and it's checked in the organism. And at the end of the test, then you can have a look at the result.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see here, that is the result. You have 5 physiologies to choose from. On the top, you have the physiology. For example, here is cells and tissues. which is the most disturbed, energetically disturbed physiology. But in case that you have some symptoms, for example, depending to the skin or to the digestive system, then you can also change and you can have another one. But the 5 most important are listed in order of priority for you. And when you decide, for example, the first one, then you can push the button start and the selection of the physiology of the detail test starts. The next slide is showing the detail test. What is the meaning of detail test? When we talk about bioresonance according to Paul Schmidt, we know that we are looking for cause-orientated solutions. And one thing is that you now have the knowledge about the most disturbed physiology, but now you want to have the question, you have the question, what happens? What are the reasons for this disturbance? And now the physiology was selected in the detail test, mostly approximately 190 RAH programs from the cause area, cause-orientated system, will be applied to the animal organism. And this test depends a little bit on the pulse. Approximately needs 15 or 20 minutes. With horses, it takes longer because you know that the pulse of the horse is down and it's not in the area of 100, it's more in the area of 60. And therefore, it takes a little bit longer. But our experience showed it's not a problem for the horse, because the horse is connected, the horse is standing and waiting. It's also possible that you can give a little bit food to the horse, that it's not boring for the horse standing and waiting for the result. The animal may calm down, and mostly the owner of the pets also. Please take care that the owner is not sleeping, and otherwise you have a different result. But really, it takes, I think, mostly 20 minutes, and then you have the result of the detail test. On the next slide, I can show you now 14 relevant RAH programs from the cause-orientated system, from the causal area, are listed. And you can see, for example, on top, human herpes, for example, other virus, or DDT, or geopathic stress, or something else, or also our products like Rayocomp Plus. They are listed in priority, and then you can start interpreting this kind of results. In my opinion, it's very, very helpful to have 40 relevant RAH programs to make a little bit a picture from the causes and what are the reasons for the energetic disturbance. When you now push the button harmonization, you come to the therapy program. Automatically, the device will offer you a therapy program. Next. And you can see here on the right, the therapy program. We start with analyze preparation 00.00 and then with vitalization. And at the end, every time you will find the basic detoxification and the stress reduction, because our experience showed that it's very important to have such kind of structure for the therapy program. But in the middle, you will have the physiology, the detailed physiology, and 3 pathogens, for example. Also the pathology. And then you, for example, have programs from the area of heavy metals or, for example, other things inside of the list. We have no programs from the area of electromagnetic pollution or geopathic stress or minerals and vitamins, because we know that it makes no sense to harmonize this kind of programs. For these problems, you need solutions. And therefore, it makes sense to change the food, for example, or to take care that you have, for example, Rayonex or something against electromagnetic pollution. Okay, on the next slide. Now you have again on the right side the therapy program, but it's also possible that you can add other programs, because you know, for example, that this dog has also a kidney problem or thyroid gland problem. Then you can go into the RAH, you can select different kind of programs, and you can add 10 programs you can add from the RAH-VET, and then your harmonizing program, it's longer, but it's a little bit more individual from your side. Therefore, you have also a chance to change it a little bit. Sind wir so langsam oder geht das irgendwie so?
Das ist verzögert, ja.
Ja, aber sehr. Now I want to come back to the follow-up via the client's history. In case that you have first made the checkup and the detail check, and then you have the therapy program, you can store this kind of program, for example, on the green card, and you harmonize the dog 2 times or 3 times. After 3 times, he's coming back. It may be possible that he has home therapy with a basic, for example, or he's coming to your clinic and harmonizing. But now I think it's very interesting for you to have an idea what happens inside. And mostly the pet owner is also asking, hey, what changed inside of the body? The symptoms are going down, yes, but I want to have more information. And now it's really, in my opinion, it's very important and very nice to make a next test, to have a follow-up. And therefore, you go to client administration, to go to client history, and then you can change, you can go to follow-up or again, harmonization. And now I want to show you what happens when you go to follow-up. Follow-up means that the therapy program is tested directly on the patient again. That means that we have to make the same procedure. We have to connect the dog. We have to look that the signal is right, that the right lead is founded. And then we start again the test with the RAH programs, but only with a therapy program. And the result of the follow-up looks very interesting. On the left, you can see red and green programs. And the red programs must be further harmonized, and the green ones are already harmonized. That means, for example, in this example, the 3 green programs you can put out of the therapy program, and you can reduce this program. And for you, it's very nice to give the information to the owner of the pet that you can say, yes, it's going on in a very nice way. For example, the metabolism program and all the other programs, they are now harmonized and we can reduce. The dog is on the right way. And when you now go to harmonizing, automatically on the right slide, you can see on the red picture, a smaller program. It's reduced. 3 programs are taken out, and now you have only the red ones. Programs must be further harmonized in the therapy program. Now you can continue to harmonize, to store it on the green card, for example, and you can, again, harmonize. Then mostly after 3 harmonizations, you can say to the owner of the dog, please come back. Then we can make again a follow-up. You can make follow-up again and again until 3 programs remain. After that, our recommendation is that you start a new physiology test. And in our experience, it shows that then really the most things are very good harmonized.
Yeah, Ms. Bunburg, you explained really deeply how it works, and especially the follow-up test is totally new. And we have here an additional slide. The actual software is not available, but we are talking about the next steps. Yeah? That means what is in the future possible with this RAH scan. Of course, we have more options. And for example, it is possible to check directly the RAH programs of Bach flowers, for example, or to check directly the Schüssler salts. Yeah, and please think about the situation we have at the moment. We are testing test protocols with the Rayotensa, and this can be 50 or 70 programs. And in case that we are developing this RAH scan, of course, it is possible that a test protocol can be checked fully automatical, and that's really an additional dream. Of course, we can create for example, the idea to check own compilations of RAH programs, for example, for developments, for new therapy systems, and whatever. Therefore, this is the start. We said it in the beginning, a start into a new world of bioresonance, according to Paul Schmidt, and a new world of analyzing, of energetic analyzing. But before, I think we are talking more about the options in the future. We want to come back and to see a little bit directly the practical usage in a few videos, Mr. Taylor.
Yeah, exactly. So this was a lot of very interesting theory, but really because it's so new and special, we want to show you some videos, and we will start here with a little video from how to apply the RAH Scan VETs to, I would say, a small horse in this case. It's not the biggest one, but a very friendly one. So you use the scan pads, and as you can see here, always with a little drop of the gel. This is the thoracic derivation on the side, and yeah, the horse is very calm. It's not much, no strong reaction really. So very easy. Again, the positioning will also be shown on the display of the device. So even here, you cannot do anything wrong. So just check the display on the Polar 4.0 and it gives you the exact position. Okay.
Totally amazing how good is the signal. Yeah, we were in our tracks and we did hundreds of them. We were totally surprised how good we can work with the signal from the horse. And of course, there's resistance with the hairs and so on, but the signal is really very fine. And this was a great surprise. And of course, we were really very happy about that.
So the next is on the right side, you see also the scan again, the picture on the display, what helps you in the application of the pads. Now we need the fabric detector, of course. Here we use the horse detector. It will be tightened on the horse that it does not move or fall apart. And we need to make sure that we have a proper test result and that transferring the information from the Rayocomp in a proper way to the horse or to the organism.
By the way, because we have a little bit time during, we can watch the video. The detector is connected with the Polar, and the Polar is giving the RAH program to the detector. And via the detector, we are stimulating the horse, and this will change the signal at the final end of the heart quality, and we can detect that and can decide in a very complex mathematic method that this RAH program is needed.
Yeah, Okay, now another example. He looks a little bit skeptic in the beginning, and but no chance to disappear. But then he calmed down. But you see here the usage of the clamps. Also here again, the gel is put on the clamp, but you see the dog is not crying or shouting or barking or anything. So they really don't hurt. So you can, when you have them, you can try them on your fingers. You will realize they are not really bad. Again, the clamps, this is the limb derivation. Very easy usage of the special, in this case, small dog fabric detector, different sizes, but also important. And it works very well on dogs. They really stay calm there. They sit or lay down. Mostly no big problem, what I heard from the tests we did. So that there was no issue about biting or something from the dog. They more enjoy this kind of testing, what I heard. Yeah, this was to show you a little bit of the practice, how the application is. You see, also very easy. You always have a good guidance on the device with the pictures. You cannot do really anything wrong, or must be afraid of doing anything wrong. Yeah. Oops. So, but of course, we want to give you some concrete ideas. How does it work, and what's the result here on one example with Buddy? Gudrun, please.
Yes, Buddy, 8 years old, male, neutered cat. And as you saw, we have not a cat directly to show how to connect with the device. Why is it so? Cats are very, they don't like to be catched, or that you would put something on them and hold them at one area. It's not so easy to handle cats. But we found a very good possibility to check them also. And this cat, Buddy, come to our clinic and is bought for dental rehabilitation. Here in Germany, we have many cats with bad teeth. That means that in the food, for example, is too much sugar, or the teeth are not standing in the right way, or something else. And therefore, we have to clean the dentals, and they are coming to the clinic. And with the next slide, I can show you. The owner wants to make an X-ray because the cat is coughing, and the cat is sedated for the dental rehabilitation. And many people are asking for something, for example, that we take blood from the cat and send it to the laboratory for checking, but also to make X-rays, because no fight with the cat, is very relaxed. And that was a perfect possibility for us to check them with the RAH scan. And as you can see here, the cat is lying. We take the metal detectors under the cat, and yes, it's sleeping. And it was very good to check this cat, Buddy. On the next slide, you can see again what is possible. You have the clamps can be attached to the limbs, for example. The metal food detectors are ideal when animals have been sedated and have been, for example, operated or something, and you can put it under them. Very comfortable, and you can clean them very good. The next pictures. The thoracic position is also possible with thicker fuel. For example, when you don't want to work with the clamps, then you can put it directly to the cat. You need the gel. And yes, in case that you have a very deep anesthesia, it makes sense, because otherwise the results of the ECG is not so good. Next one. We checked Buddy and we checked the physiology, and really we were very surprised. The heart physiology was on the top. And because Buddy, it was a normal cat, and as you know, we had not so many possibilities to check the cat. You can have a little bit, you can hear the heartbeat, yes, but in case that they are not so, what is the meaning of friendly? Friendly, then you have a very special sound when you hear the heartbeat, and it's more than, it's not so good to interpret. Therefore, it's interesting to have this kind of view inside of the body, and we were very surprised about the physiology of the heart. The detailed physiology was a tricuspid valve, and the pathology was right heart failure. And then we checked with an X-ray.
This one or to the X-ray?
Next X-ray, the next one.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. The right heart, the failure. We want to check. Yes. And on the X-ray, you can see the X-ray confirms the findings. You can see enlarged heart here directly. The heart is in the middle. I hope you can see that. Arterial dilatations, slightly raised trachea, and strongly marked bronchi. with the bioresonance, according to Paul Schmidt, heart medication is checked, and suitable medication for supporting this found was very quickly found. And really, we had not the idea about a heart problem, but because, wenn du jetzt nochmal auf die andere Folie gehst, because of the cough of the heart, of the cat, then you can interpret it in the right way. The right heart failure, for example, it's really a problem, a common condition problem from the tricuspid valve, and of the right side of the heart is the problem. And one of the symptoms, for example, is a cough. But really normal, when somebody is coming to the clinic and talks about cough with a cat, you are looking at the upper respiratory system, for example, at the lung or at the bronchi, but not mostly at the heart. Okay, now we can go on. I want to give you also a little bit of view to the detail test, and we found lots of essential amino acids and normal amino acids in cats. I have listed here, and when you can see arginine, histidine, isoleucine, and all these ones, and the red ones all missing in this test result. And what is the meaning when you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 missing amino acids? Then you can see it's a clear indication of feed intolerance or of the poor quality of the feed. And that is also very interesting that you directly, with this result, can talk to the owner of the pet. And then, for example, you can organize that you check again the food or the feed, or you can say, okay, we can recommend another kind of food, or you can have to change something else. And in my opinion, this view we have never had for animals. It's very quick, and I told you, when the cat is sleeping with because of sedation, then it's really perfect. Okay, next slide.
Okay, so
yeah. So thank you so much. Conclusion.
Yeah,
right heart failure would not have been found without the RAH scan. The food should be adapted to the needs of the cat. And in my opinion, the heart problem is really very, very on top and most important for this cat. But also with the food, I think it's an interesting information, and especially for the owner of the cat, that they have to change the food. Yes, that's a little bit only to give you an idea what is possible with this new kind of scan.
Yeah, this we want to put together again here after this very impressive example, and shows the possibilities and I would say the power of the RAH Scan VET here. About these different findings that you can find things which you never expected before. So they were just saying the cat was coughing, but that you found a serious heart failure, heart problem on the animal. This is quite incredible. And the lack of amino acids and so on. So it really provides a fantastic system. Yeah, what's the summary, the conclusion of the new RAH Scan VET here? So first of all, it's using an ECG like in the human area, which is very well known and accepted from the professionals, from the veterinarian doctors, same as on the human range. Everybody knows an ECG, but also the clients or the pet owner know an ECG. So they're not be scared about what you are doing with the animal in this case. So if you say it's an ECG measurement, they will agree on this. The fantastic newest development is the follow-up possibility that you can, from one section of therapy after probably a week or two, you can do a follow-up test here on the animal to see how the progress is, how the development is, and can reduce the therapy program down from week to week until you should do a new physiological scan, a whole scan again with the animal. For cats, I think this is also a strong recommendation from practice to do it while they are sedated and not where they are awake, because this can end up in a fight, really. But as mentioned, they come regularly to the doctor for the dental rehabilitation, for example, and so this you can really profit from the time when you sedate the animal anyway to do this kind of standard therapy. You have the chance to do the scan test here or offer it to the customer as well. Dogs and horses, as we have seen on the video as well, dogs maybe look skeptical in the beginning, but then they are very calm and stay there. It's very easy and can be tested at any time. No sedation required, not under normal circumstances. And the detailed test, is also giving you a brilliant overview and valuable information on the pathogenic burdens of the animal, where you can then specifically work against with leveling the energetic or balancing the energetic level in the animal. You can check the feed intolerances, the quality of the feed, at least as we saw on body with the amino acids, with the leg in there, what you can find here with a detailed test. So this system provides you a fantastic opportunity really on the veterinarian range so far on the veterinarian range. This was the summary about the VET scan, really. I think you all see the new opportunities, the fantastic development, how new it is, and again, let's pick up the first words. A dream come true, step by step now, but the dream is not over, by far not. So there's something more to dream of. And I think, Professor Harmes, this is something where you want to talk again about, right?
Of course. I think this was really a very nice presentation. And we worked out in the beginning that the step into the automatic RAH measurement via ECG is a start. Of course, and this is a little bit unusual that we are starting now in the RAH area, but this was really it is tremendous work, because we have horses, dogs, and cats to solve. But we hope that this will run really or will be available in a few weeks. But what is behind is not only the RAH scan for the veterinarian area, also for the human one. And then we have all the advantages here in front. That means ECG based. That means patients and practitioners, healthcare professionals are fully understanding the ECG system and accepting this analytic and analyzing system. Of course, it is fully automatic. That means that healthcare professionals have a chance that they have an overview about the checks, but that the staff, for example, can also do some work, and therefore the measurement with the Rayotensor is not so time wasting than before. We have 22 different physiologies for testing. In the same way, then we explained it here in this presentation. The human area will have 22 different physiologies. That means one more than in the area of the vet area. The reason is that we integrated also the teeth. And after checking the strongest reaction in the physiologic areas, we are checking then the related detailed RAH programs regarding this physiologic area. And at the end, of course, we have a therapy system in the same way than here in the vet area. with automatic therapy programs, with a follow-up, and of course with a possibility to detect these programs, giving it to a green card and using it with, for example, Rayocomp PS Basic at home as a home treatment. Yeah, I think that's really a very, very nice view into the future, and we are really proud to have this system starting with the RAH at the veterinary area, to having this very soon. And no, I think it is a good idea that we can have a look into the questions you ask as Q&A, and under the name is F&A. You can ask questions, and I have some of this here. And the first one is, will there be an update for the RAH humans now? Will the price, what is the price of the RAH Scan humans, and so on? Yeah, Mr. Taylor.
Yeah, as you already explained, so we are now still in the final stage on the development for the veterinarian area. Looks very good that it will come really very in a short time from now. And once this is finished, then we can adopt the knowledge from the new RAH scan for the human sector as well. And it will last a few more weeks. Could not give an exact timing now when it will be ready for the humans. But it's not too far away. No? So we don't have to look on the crystal ball, I think. So it's coming very soon, hopefully. The prices, yeah, I think it's also some kind of surprise, probably, that this will come as an update for the existing RAH scan owners in a Polar 4.0. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So this is also important to know. It only works with the RAH scan, also the human then, on the Polar 4.0. It will not be possible on the old Polar due to the technical issues we mentioned in the beginning. But for people who already own the RAH scan now in the human area, this will come for free as an update. So this is very important, and I think also a little bit unusual again.
Yeah, that's really true, Mr. Taylor. This is our philosophy. When you bought already a module, that the following development is cost-free. That means when you have a Rayocomp PS 1000 Polar 4.0 with, for example, a RAH scan for the human area, and the human in the human area, the RAH scan will come also, then you can update and you have this possibility cost-free. Of course, you are now asking, I think, for the older Polars, and we have here, of course, an idea for all the users of old devices also. In case that this is of interest, you can come in touch with us, and we can explain it for you in detail. I have another question for you, Ms. Buchenburg. Can I use the CAT scan for all cats? For example, lion, tigers, jaguars, and so on. I think you have a lot of experience in this field.
Sure. Take care for you and good luck. Sure, it's possible. Sure. Every cat you can check. You can check every animal as you like.
Next question. Same. For example, can I use the dog scan for a wolf? Or wolf, yeah.
Again, take care for you. And please send me the result. It might be interesting, but sure, you can.
Okay, and now the third thing, can I use the horse scan for a zebra?
I'm not sure because of the pictures on the color. No, it's possible, yes.
Zebras have a different QR code.
Yeah.
No, but it is a good question. Yes, of course. This is exactly what we want to show, that in this field, we have not only direct dogs and cats in front. Therefore, yeah, it is nice to have this additional possibilities. Yeah, then there's a question, will the PS1000 Polar VET Complete include the RAH Scan VET? Okay, this is a very special question, I think, and I can see who is asking. Best regards to France here. Yeah. But we will come over to you with the detailed information in the next few weeks, or in case you can discuss this directly with Mr. Taylor. Yeah. Okay, and then a few thanks for the development and great work. Yeah, and of course, this is another thing. The visualization is, of course, a new step in the Rayonex area also. That means that in the human scan, the visualization is also very nice, so that we can visualize, for example, exactly the physiologic structure of the human, which is actually analyzed. And this is very impressive and I think helpful for explaining the relationships to the patients in case that there's a need. Okay, this was thanks from Morocco. Thank you so much. Okay, fantastic. This was the last question. Thank you so much for joining our webinar regarding the new RAH-VET scan. I hope that you are now really motivated and full of expectations to use this. We are really very happy to give you very soon the software for usage. And I would say thank you so much, Ms. Bogenburg and Mr. Taylor, for presenting this newest development. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a great pleasure, really, to have this, to talk about and demonstrate this giant step, and really with extensive development behind this from the team of the veterinarian area here and developers. So yeah, really looking forward that it will be available finally for everybody.
Thank you so much, and looking forward to see you soon.
Yeah, that's true. And that's really true. Okay, thank you so much, and have a good time, and take care of you. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye, everybody.